All right, let's bring you the latest then on the Thabo Bester escape saga. Now, it can be difficult to keep up with how many arrests we're talking about, but I can tell you this: 3 more suspects are expected to appear in court today. Let's go over to senior reporter Aviwe Mtila, who has the latest for us. They're on the steps of the court out in Bloemfontein. Aviwe, morning to you. What do we know about the next lot of these suspects?
Well, it's another week, Gareth, and another court appearance at the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court. We understand now 3 people have been added to the now 12 accused around this Thabo Bester saga. It's 2 47-year-old males and 1 37-year-old male. We understand one of them apprehended on Monday in Bochabelo. That's some 66 kilometers away from G4S. The one thing that they have in common is that they're all G4S employees. Now, that would add to the at least half a dozen that have stood in the dock. At least 3/4 of the 12 accused are from G4S. Now, let me bring in a legal analyst, maybe just to paint out what to expect and where we are with this matter. That's Thabo Bester. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. All of these accused are G4S employees, and oddly enough, it was the very G4S that only acknowledged the Thabo Bester escape in March. That's shy of a year, nearly in May. Are we getting the full picture of who's supposed to be accountable? Because it seems like these are lowly people in the G4S ranking.
I would beg to differ to say that we are not getting a clear picture as to what transpired at G4S, and appreciating the fact that there's an adage that says the wheels of justice turn very slow. But at the same time, we are saying, because there are people that are in managerial positions at G4S, people that were supposed to have sanctioned, processes in G4S, insofar as they relate to the burning of the corpse and the smuggling of the corpse, burning of the cell, and so many other things that are, attached or related to the Thabo Bester saga. But we unfortunately see that these people that are in managerial positions, either the unit manager or even the center manager, they're not being called to come and account. They're not being arrested. So it's worrying as to, is this investigation at some point going to end insofar as arrests are concerned? From where we are standing, we are saying up until such time we see arrests of high-ranking officials, we are still far from finishing these arrests. And
that media statement coming from Brigadier Linda Mate suggested that there could possibly be more arrests. But should it end at G4S, is it not going to be wide scale, given, for example, the mortuary where these bodies were taken from? Maybe the involvement of police. What's your opinion on this?
Remember, there's a plethora of people or role players, as you correctly point out, that the morgue was involved in this arrest, in this escape. So we need to establish, even the people that are at the hospitals, those that released the corpse, under the pretext that that corpse belonged to or was a relative of Dr. Nandipa Magudumana. So those people need to be called to come and account. So the way we can call them to come and account is for us to arrest them, and they must come and prove their innocence in court. So we are saying, apart from the G4S officials, we need to see people from the Department of Health, people from the mortuary, people from even SAPS to come and give their account as to what transpired up until we see Thabo Bester and Nandipa in Tanzania. So someone must, or most people must come and give clear account as to what transpired, and they must prove their innocence.
And you mentioned that the wheels of justice turn slowly. And how slowly can we expect them to turn in this matter, given that this is the first appearance of these 3 accused? Thabo Bester was arrested on the 8th of April. How long can we see this matter drawn out?
Our view is that the pace or the tempo of investigations is very sluggish. And that being said, we are estimating between 5 to 10 years that this case is going to drag between 5 to 10 years. The reason for us saying that is because of the sluggish pace at which these investigations are concerned. 2, we're going to be seeing lawyers coming and going because of various reasons, maybe lack of funding and so forth and stuff. So that's going to drag this matter between 5 to 10 years.
Wow. Thabo Bester, thank you for joining us. That's the legal mind, Thabo Bester, suggesting that, Gareth, we should actually be camping out here for the next 5 or 10 years. His projection on how long this matter can drag out. That's, of course, after 3 more accused have been added on to the now 12 accused that stand accused of assisting murderer and rapist Thabo Bester escape from the Mangaung Correctional Center.
It's frightening to think that it could be at least 5 years, according to your guest, up to 10 years. Well, maybe it's time for you and Slindelo Masakane to look at getting some property out in Bloemfontein. It might be easier for you to just cover the story from there. But staggering, considering that we were talking earlier about how long it takes for these court cases to get underway. I was speaking to Malusi Kulu, who was saying that often it is in the best interests of justice to take its time. The wheels turn slowly for justice to be achieved. But when you start hearing 5 to 10 years, this could very well turn itself into another Senzo Maiyiwa court case, unfortunately.